Hello, everybody. Graham Coath here and Pratheesh Chambeth, and we are bringing you Capisso today. And we're doing it across lots of different platforms as well. So, hello to everybody in LinkedIn land who's joining us. Thank you for being here. Everyone on YouTube and also everybody over on Facebook. It's lovely to be multi-platforming this morning. The only one that we're not going on seems to be Threads, which everybody's been talking about all weekend. How are you, Pratheesh?
Absolutely fantastic, Graham. Thank you very much. And how are you?
Yes, good actually. Yes, I'm surrounded by tablets, but we won't go into that. That's my blood pressure, which is back down to normal now anyway. So
Always a good thing. Always a
it
good
must
thing.
it must it must have been the excitement of actually having some hot days recently. Um, so we're here to talk about Capisso. When did this journey start?
3.5 years back. So I became self-employed a few years before that. And one of the things I really found excruciatingly painful was to manage my accounts. And dealing with accountants was also not easy because they're always busy. So getting hold of them to understand my books, to get advice on what I need to do, etc., was difficult. And you probably have experienced the shoe boxes of receipts that you needed to get across to them so that they could do your bank reconciliation, etc. So that kind of pushed me on to I looked at multiple software, but they were all had their pros and cons. One thing with other softwares that I could not get was the personal connection. I, if I had a query about my accounts or in general about accounts, I had to go through their help section, send an email to their support, etc. It took time. So I wanted a solution where I could have access to somebody like a personal assistant. I could just, message them in any channel and get an answer quickly. So that was the origins of the idea of Capisso, which in Latin means manage. So literally the goal was to have a digital platform uh, which would sit always around me, and I would have access to it 24/7.
Yeah, and some people would say, why look at trying to reinvent the wheel? There's so many different software pieces out there. We've traditionally, I remember the days of Pegasus and things like that. But Sage, QuickBooks,
Zero.
Xero, all of these. But this isn't that. Is this solution isn't that? Is it?
No, it's not. One of the ways we like to describe Capisso is a bookkeeping middleware that plugs in between you as a business and your existing accountant. So are not looking at changing how things happen at the moment, but we make life easier by coming in between these two entities.
Yeah.
And that's something nobody else does at the moment.
So, what would be the kind of typical example that you would see within a small business, etc., who are currently using maybe different technologies in order to prepare their books ready to give it to the accountant? And what does Capisso really kind of solve in terms of that solution?
Okay. It's difficult to kind of um, state of one particular way businesses function when it comes to accounts. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and which leads to their own challenges. So some typical examples would be, let's say I'm a small business, I have my purchases and I have my sales. Two things, incomings and outgoings, right? I need to record them. So I might use, traditionally people, especially when they are starting out, they don't want to pay for software, so they would start with Excel because it's quick. So I'll start recording in Excel. If I'm a bit more fancy, I'll go with a cloud-based software. So I'm recording all this. Then I have to store these receipts that I paid for, and then I have to get all this data to my accountant. Okay, so let's say I'm using Zero. I'm up with the latest and greatest. Um, I give access to my Zero account to my accountant, who can log in and see that I've created my sales invoices, I've created my purchase invoices, I have my receipts also. Then I link it with my bank account, download it, and they can now start the process of bank reconciliation, right? So the simplest way of describing the challenge here is that me as a business, I'm good at something else. I want to focus on what I'm good at, what I'm good at selling. I don't want to take time out to do my accounts, log into Zero, create everything, right? And on the other side, my accountant, they're very busy. They are constantly getting new customers. They have to look after a lot of different customers. So they now have to log into Zero or whatever else I'm using, look at my books, check my receipts, and look at my bank statement, compare everything, make sure I've done things, everything is in order. Okay. So time spent on both ends. The first business side, I don't want to do it. On the accountant, I have to do it, but I would rather not do it if everything was done properly. So this is where Capisso jumps in. We tell the business, don't worry about your accounts. Just forward your receipts to us in multiple channels. You don't have to worry about it being a PDF or an image or an Excel file, a Word document. Does not matter. We will consume all formats. We'll take it. Now, depending upon what service we are providing to you, we will do it all. We will make sure that everything is put into the system accurately. All your receipts are attached. Your bank statement is downloaded and reconciled. Your VAT returns are prepared, and we send that to your accountant. Everything is done. So all your accountant now needs to do is have a look at it and file it. Simply put, life is easy.
And life is easy. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I like the fact that this is a benefit to both the company, the user of the, or the company that needs to actually put their accounts through to the accountant, but also the accountant. But also, there's, in that initial scenario as well, there's two lots of cost, right?
Yes.
Because, and whilst we might not see it all of the time as self-employed people, because we think about our time just being our time, there's the cost of our time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, whilst we're busy doing the accounts, which we hate doing anyway, unless we're mad. I've never understood anyone that loves doing their accounts.
There are mad people.
There are some. But there's the time that it takes us to do that, which is taking, as you say, is taking us away from making more money or doing what we really love doing. Or it might even just be spending time with the kids. But then there's the actual cost of, if the accountant sits there and does stuff for us in order to get the accounts right, that's costing us money. And as you say, it's the grunt work that the accountant probably doesn't really like doing anyway, or they're having to potentially buy in anyway that resource in order to get that done, depending upon the structure of the accountancy business. Either way, it's going to cost twice. It's not just a time thing. It is actually costing my business money in order to get my accounts to a point where the accountant can actually do what they need to do with the accounts. And the other thing with all of that is, if the accountant is busy, then it backs up how long it takes before I actually get data on my business that then allows me to either get advice from the accountant, which will help me in terms of knowing where to take things, or that I can just see as a business owner myself to know, actually, I need to make some adjustments within my business because my cash flow's down, or my, the amount of money that I can push over to this it's not there at the moment. Correct?
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. And so apart from the cost element, it's basically the goal is to allow businesses to focus on what really matters to them. As you mentioned earlier, doing the sales, because that's what's going to get you the revenue, and that's what's going to make your business grow, and be timely or near real time access to how your financials are looking at the moment. Now, if you're going the traditional route of asking your accountant to explain something or give you the profit and loss statement, for example, it takes time and you have to wait. And depending upon, as you said, if the accountant is very busy, it's a VAT month, for example, then you can forget about getting them on the phone or email, or they don't exist for that month. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of challenges which we don't actively think about. But if we sit down and try to, put it down on paper, how much time we are spending and in doing things we don't want to do and waiting on things we require, it's a lot.
Now, some people listening to that last bit may think, well, but accountants might not like this as a solution because this is actually taking away some of that work from them. But actually, when you've spoken to accountants, and you have clients as accountants as well,
Correct. Yes.
they actually like this as a solution as well. So let's just get this straight as well. This is a solution that both small businesses or businesses can use in order to prepare their books for the accountant, in order to save time and be more on top of the business for them. But accountants can use this solution as well in order to help them be more proactive with clients, which is really what accountants were trained to do in the first place, is it not?
Correct. Yeah. So we are not competing with accountants. We are enabling them to provide better service to their customers and grow their business as well. So we are allowing, or we are supporting both the businesses and the accountants to actually grow their business by saving time on not having to do stuff that they shouldn't be doing in this age of buzzwords like artificial intelligence and machine learning.
It's funny, isn't it? What's really funny about all of this is that we now live in an age where we understand this is how things need to go, right? Over the last, and obviously with technology coming in, you have to make sure that it's sound and that it doesn't actually carry any kind of moral objection or whatever. But we do know that people are looking at using things like AI solutions within copywriting and then within creative text. I mean, I looked at a new AI solution over the weekend which helps repurpose video content into lots of short form video content. Great. And yet with accounts, we haven't really cottoned on to this yet, that actually there's this grunt element to accounting which everybody, from the business itself or the businesses themselves to the accountant, have to kind of go through every year, it seems. And we have this kind of, oh no, here it comes, all of this data. We should actually be able to get to a point where accountants are kind of really on top of data day in, day out, shouldn't we?
We should be able to. I mean, that's the dream, but it's a long and complicated road to get there. Theoretically, it's, as you said, it's straightforward. We have the technology, we have the know-how. It's just a matter of implementing it. But when it comes to accountancy, there is a lot of small teething problems which don't make it easy to implement a good AI solution. Right? So that's why we need to we need to use a hybrid approach. We need to have the people involved. We need to take small incremental steps towards that dream of having machines do everything.
If someone's watching this and they go, well, yeah, okay, but I am a Zero fan or a Sage fan or whatever. I'm already using that. Why would I understand what you're saying. This is different from that, but I want to carry on using my Zero, etc. What do we say to those people?
I mean, we are not going to try and change your mind, but we can basically show you things which will open your mind to the possibilities and the benefits you get by using a software and service like Capisso, which you'll never get with Zero. Not because Zero cannot do those things, it's because sometimes companies which are very big, they are unable to give you a very personalized service, which happens to be one of the core ethos of Capisso. So we always want to have a personal touch. Like our team, the customers can reach us almost any time of the day, as if
Yeah.
we were best buddies when it comes to financials.
And also, I guess with some of those other softwares that or unlike some of those other softwares, this is the way that you've built this organization is very much around software and automation, but also a people-based business who actually understand figures and accounts, etc. as well, right? So this is it's not like a sort of software with a purely customer service based team, etc. This is software, but also with bookkeepers, people that actually understand bookkeeping behind the scenes. That's part and parcel of that service. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
So at the core, it's a tech product. Capisso is a cloud-based accounting software with smart features built in. And however, we don't want to just rely on technology. So what we have done is it's a hybrid concept. We have the tech, but then we have multiple layers of human experts who bring in the human intelligence on top of artificial intelligence to ensure that we can provide quality, 100% accuracy in everything that we do. So this involves having people who are good bookkeepers, who are tax experts, who understand the accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, and doing your tax returns, etc., and creating your annual company returns. So, but at each interaction between machine and the human, the machine is constantly learning, which makes the job of the human counterpart easier with each passing day, each passing month. So there'll come a time when the people are doing high level tasks, including talking more with the customers, pushing them, giving them a gentle push where required. Oh, look, have you looked at these figures?
Right.
As a business, if I can switch off from having to worry about my financials, and I know that somebody is there who's going to call me, text me, WhatsApp me, and say, hey, Pratheesh, your cash flow this month is looking a bit tight. You really need to come up with something. That's what a service should give me when it comes to accounts. And that's what Capisso is geared towards or built towards providing.
Now you mentioned a word there, which we're gonna pick up on now, which is you said WhatsApp, and people WhatsApping you. Which one of the things I really like about what you're doing as well is that the entry point in terms of the technology and the communication is not built necessarily around having to download lots of additional apps, which will then need to be updated on a regular basis, etc. You're using entry entry points and technology that people already have as part of their everyday life, which I think is really important, because that just means a lot less steep learning curve in one way. So there's not something else to learn, right? Do you want to give us a little bit of a demonstration of that, or talk about that?
Yeah, I will. So our thinking process involves, one of the goals we have is to minimize effort required by our customers. Okay, and regardless of which software you use or which app you use, there is a learning curve. You have to look through on how to do certain things. So we wanted to minimize that. Um, Currently, you have multiple apps available on for phones, which can do OCR, optical character recognition. So you can take a photo of your receipts. It will kind of extract the information and tell you what it is, allow you to file it in accurate places, right? But you need to learn how to use
How
that.
that works.
How that works. Even if it is very simple to use, but there is a bit of learning curve, and there's extra work involved. So let's say auto entry, it will do a good job, but it still leaves a bit of work on you to finish the job.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to take out all that. So we looked at what are people currently using the most, what they don't need training on. So few things, like top would be WhatsApp. I haven't yet spoken to a person in a business who does not know WhatsApp, or where exactly on their phone WhatsApp is, or who require training. So what we did was we just integrated with the WhatsApp Business API to as a entry point for consuming customer information, the data, the financials, right? So I'll give you a quick demo on that. I'm using the WhatsApp desktop API, desktop tool, but it's the same when you use on the phone. So let's share my screen. Okay, here's a WhatsApp desktop tool, right? And what I'm going to do is I have a purchase receipt. So I purchased an iPhone. So I have the bill for that. And I have a sales invoice that I sent to a customer, for which I'm awaiting payment, right? Now, you could have done this in any number of ways. I'm just taking one typical example. So to get this into Capisso, all I have to do is send it to through WhatsApp. So what it's doing at the moment is Capisso gets these two documents that I've sent. One is an image, one is a PDF, and it will start processing. So I will now show you how it looks like on Capisso. So I'm going to stop sharing here and share the next screen. So next window is...
While Pratheesh is doing this, by the way, if you have any questions for Pratheesh, do put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer those. Here we go.
Fabulous. So this is your Capisso accounting solution, right? You're here. I'm not going through the actual software itself. I'll just take you through what we are doing now. So if I go to this section here called Smart Upload, you will see that the files are uploaded. Okay, so I've actually uploaded multiple ones. So you'll see that the first one, the PDF has already been created. So if I go into the summary here, you'll see that invoice 5, which I had just uploaded, has been created as a sales invoice in the system, all from just the PDF that I had uploaded. Now, it could have been a PDF or an image. It could have been multiple formats. It will do it. So it has extracted the information and put it into appropriate places on the system. So now if I look at the system PDF of that invoice, and there you have a very lovely looking invoice created within Capisso. So all it took was couple of seconds for on the customer's side to get this done. If you are doing this with any other software that is available, it will not be this simple and straightforward.
And so it's all about time saving.
Time saving, speed. So within seconds, you have access to your financials. So now if I look at my dashboard, it's all updated with the latest information that the system has processed. Now, the couple of things that happen is because the system keeps learning. If there is a new format, the format that I just uploaded for the invoice, the system recognizes it, so it can do it instantly. Whereas if it was something new, or if there were certain doubts in processing a particular document, the system would highlight that to a human operator. So we have quality engineers and bookkeepers sitting behind who would make sure that anything flagged by the machine is looked upon and resolved to provide 100% accuracy to our customers. So me as a business, I just can upload my images through WhatsApp, email, Google Drive, etc., and then absolutely forget about it. So it is taken care of by Capisso as a platform. Now,
This is brilliant.
there's the other thing is I had also uploaded an image which was being processed, and now it is complete. So if I check that, if I click through from there, you will see that Apple iPhone purchase, it has actually created it as a purchase invoice, and image is attached to that entry in the system. Matter of minutes.
One question that someone might ask is, I get Capisso, I'd start using you as a service, because this is a SaaS-based service. It's a service solution. What happens if my accountant doesn't have Capisso or has never heard of Capisso? How do I then make sure that my data is, transferable to my account, and how do they start using it?
We take care of all that. So in the beginning of the journey, we understand what your existing situation is like. So let's say your accountant is very old school. They're using, let's say, Sage Line 50 from ancient times.
I remember that.
Let's say they're doing that.
Yeah.
We will consume your information, all the documents that you're sending us. We will prepare the bookkeeping. We will export it in a format that your accountant can use and mail it to them. So again, you do not have to worry about how the data is going to get to your accountant. We will handle all that.
It's amazing. It's full on end-to-end service.
Correct.
To do with your accounts. Yeah. So this is literally like having your own bookkeeper sat there doing your books for you, but
all the
using
time, around the clock.
Yeah, but having technology that allows you to dial in and get the data back as well, and get have communication with trusted bookkeepers as well, and actually really understand where your business is going. Wow. It's a very different solution, isn't it, from what's currently out there?
Absolutely. So it's at the moment when somebody asks, how are you different from everything else is out there, it's we don't really spend too much time trying to explain that. We just say, tell me how much time you're spending on currently managing your accounts. We will reduce it by at least a quarter.
Wow. Which is such valuable time in day and age where time is of the essence, because we're all pushed for time. So there will be people watching this today who will want to know more, because this this is quite revolutionary. What's the next steps if somebody is interested from their own business point of view of looking at an account system? And maybe there's people out there that are just starting a new business, so that would be an absolutely ideal time to actually get this into place, rather than
Correct.
getting involved in one thing and then coming back. So from them, or even an accountant's point of view, if they're thinking, actually, yes, this could be great for us, so that actually we could save our accountancy business time in terms of this general processing, and we can start being more proactive. What's the next steps?
The best would be to go onto our website, capisso.com, book a demo with us, and we'll go through your circumstances, situations, what exactly you're trying to achieve, and then provide you with a solution. So the bog standard, the software is there, you can use it. We'll create you an account, no problems. But we go beyond that. We try to understand your business, what it is you're trying to achieve, and then come up with a solution that suits the way you want to work.
Yeah. So the resource within the system will vary depending upon the size of the business, the amount of kind of transactions, etc., the amount of data that they require to process, etc., or get advice on, and the complexity of the accounts that might be there. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's everything is transparent. You would have your account manager with whom you can they'll become your best friend. You can send them a message anytime. They'll kind of explain whatever you need to know. So we kind of abstract all the complexities of your accounts from you, so you can sleep better at night.
So you can sleep better at night. Well, why wouldn't somebody want to do that? Exactly. So look, Pratheesh, thank you so much for joining me for this introductory session on Capisso today. If you've been watching this and you've been thinking, actually, I hate doing all of that paperwork, all of those finances getting right on my skin, and you would like to know more, please do contact Pratheesh or connect with him on LinkedIn or Facebook. Do visit the website capisso.com and find out more, and you can register your interest there. And do share this with your friends as well. If you know other businesses out there that have been moaning about their bookkeeping or their accounts, please do get in touch with them as well. Share this over the next few days, and we'd love to hear from you with your thoughts on what you've seen today. Thanks so much for joining me. Until next time, bye for now.
Brilliant. Thank you.